thought that I would share with you poems because recently I was asked to be interviewed for a half-hour television show, Texas Nafas Poetry. And so I had to come up with poems and be interviewed, and I was honored to do so. And so I came up with pieces that I thought spanned my writing and what worked well. And he interviewed me so much that I didn't even get to all of them, but I put them on a chapbook called Public Access Poetry because it's going to be on channel 16 if you have Comcast. It's channel 16 or 10 depending on your provider, February 1st.
And you can download it too, because I've done that before, you can download it.
And you can download the TV show, and if you wanted to download this little chapbook, you can do that as well. So I just thought I would read 3 pieces from this for you. I don't know, some of them you may have heard, but the key was trying to be able to make eye contact with the camera. You know, because I've seen somebody that was on a second, this is my poem, and no. So we'll see what I can do on that one. But this, so from this chapbook, this first one that I read was Our Color, Our Gender, Our Creed. There is a house inside of me. It's a house with a rich heritage, brimming with the knowledge of how our souls have flourished and how it could all be so quickly taken away. There is a house inside of me that I've had to shut down, to hide everything away, because those who didn't look like me decided I was nothing and treated me accordingly. There is a house inside of me. Its pulse has an infectious rhythm that we've had to stifle to hide from your generic white bread world. We only let it out when we're alone to save us from your madness. There is a house inside of me. I've hidden it away. I've sealed it up and placed it deep within, brimming with my history and my future. And I don't let it out when people can't think of me as human. There is a house inside of me. I put boards over the windows to save myself from your wrath. With your storm, I've learned to not fight back, only because my captor won't listen. There is a house inside of me, and this house will stand strong even after you have raped me, beaten me, tortured me, tried to kill me, treated me as nothing. But you were so wrong. There is a house inside of me, and what you don't realize is that this house will outlast yours. Trust me. If your house was built on distrust and such blatant disrespect, then your house is bound to collapse. Because after all this time, and after my wanting to fight, I have learned that passive resistance is only a part of my story. Because in these struggles, I have gained a wisdom and a connection that is beyond this house inside of me, beyond this sharing, this inquisitive mentality. So I want you to remember, this house is a symbol for all like me, and for those not like me too. Because I have a dream that everyone who has suffered like this, and even those who have not, should share their stories with all of the world, no matter our color, our gender, our creed. This is my dream, because this is how we truly grow. They went asking me poems and went through, and they started asking me because they knew I was in a near-fatal car accident. And they said, do you have any poems from that? And I thought it would be best to not share poems like that. But what I could tell you is that this poem that I'd like to share with you is a poem that I wrote maybe about a week beforehand. And you would think that I had a premonition about this accident, but this is called Fantastic Car Crash. And our life is one big road trip now. We set the cruise control and make our way down the expressway. And most of the time we're driving, we're moving in a straight line. The scenery blurs and there's nothing to see. But I know what's inside of you, and I know what you're made of. There's no such thing as a calm with you. You are a fantastic car crash. You stop traffic in both directions as the gapers gawk, and the delay grows while everyone slows down and stares. Everything shatters with you, you know. It's a spectacular explosion. I try to duck and cover as metal flies through the air. And every time you leave the scene of the accident, I'm left picking up the shards of glass from the broken windows. You know, the glass breaks into such tiny little pieces. They look like ice. It takes so long to pick up the pieces, and even though I'm careful, I'm still picking up the pieces, and I'm still on my knees, and the glass cuts into my hands, and the blood drips down into the street. Think of it as my contribution to this fantastic car crash that is you, that is me, that is us, as I pull the glass from my hands and wave my hand to the line of traffic. Go on, and keep driving. This happens all the time. There's nothing to see here. And I'll skip my heavy, deep one for another round, and I will go to this one. I don't know where they led into this one, but this is from, and I read them all from books, and this one was from book Partial Nudity. I believe at least one person here owns that book. But this is a poem that was in this book that I shared with everyone, and it is called Us Actually Touching. I heard a physicist explain that when two solid objects are pressed together, they never actually touch. I can't imagine it, but maybe because electrons repel, all objects remain one molecule apart. I wonder if this is why, when I see you and when we embrace, I want to hold you tighter and tighter, because I want to defy the laws of physics and feel that contact with you as long as I possibly can. Is this why, whenever we embrace, I want my face at your neck so that I can inhale you deeply? I breathe you in because I want to experience you with all of my senses. I want our molecules to intermingle. I want us to actually